This playthrough is rated M for mature.
What do you do with a plastic face man? What do you do with a plastic face man? What do you do with a plastic face man early in the morning? Greetings and salutations, viewers. Vauldemare back here with another episode of Shadowrun Hong Kong. In the last episode, we got the inhibitor from the lady at Dreamland, used it on his dude, the plastic face man, and subdued his mistress. You know, in a not certain style, if you know what I mean, and we were able to capture him, and now we got here and ready for interrogation. Everyone's here, so let's see what he has to say about everything. The crew is silent as you lead your captive to the rooftop rendezvous you designated before the run. Just as you planned, you find the others waiting there for you. Li Tai Lung's artificial features are molded into an expression of aloof intellect and mocking rigidity. The plastic that makes up his face is soft, flexing, with the motion of his underlying musculature. Overlapping wafers of silver and bronze foci buried inside the material catch the light as he moves. It's the work of a master craftsman. Cyberware is a form of modern art, likely commissioned at modern art prices and ostentatiously displays of status and wealth. The plastic-faced man examines the zip ties that bind his wrists with an expression of detached amusement. Isabel runs a long cable from a PDA to the jack in the back of his head and nods at you. Forgot what voice I gave him. Oh well. Well, this is interesting, I must say. He chuckles, an odd hollow sound. I don't recall ever having been in this situation before. Usually I simply awaken to find myself in a strange new environment, wondering what happened. I guess there's a first time for everything, huh? He surveys your crew with a detached indifference. Looking at the lot of you, I think it's safe to assume that a violent extraction of information is the next order of business. Oh, you can bank on that, asshole. Wu focuses his attention on the plastic-faced man's kneecaps. So, you choose to grab me in an intimate moment. I suppose that's wise. Only moderate resistance, but the girl paid for it, didn't she? He considers. Clearly the preservation of meta-human life isn't a high priority for you. We didn't kill your girlfriend. She'll have a headache when she wakes up, but she'll be fine. Wiggles, we have a problem. I think the only way to not killers, I think you have to subdue her with Duncan. I don't think there's any way to, if you don't have him with you to do that subdue ability, then you have to kill her, as far as I'm aware of. So, but anyway, it's like a minor detail. Wiggles, we have a problem. Isabel stares down at the PDA. Dreamland's neural inhibitor software isn't interacting with this guy's cortical implant the same way it worked with her own. It's only going to slow the memory wipe process. We've come too far to lose this now. Do something about it. I would if I could, but we're talking about software I did write interacting with two different pieces of headwear I've never seen before. We're lucky this works at all. She begins a flurry of two-handed thumb tabs on her PDA. I'll try and key in some buffering routines or something to slow it down as much as I can, but my confidence is low. Isabel shakes her head at the PDA, her face pinched in frustration. This guy's memory is going to get wiped one way or another. I'd start asking questions, Wiggles. Tense. Very tense. The silky plastic of his face slides into a smooth smile. I guess I'll answer your questions rather slowly. Break one of his fingers. Lee's finger breaks with a loud snap. His face remains rigid and expressionless, though his body tenses and his breathing hitches for a moment. Beyond that, he makes no sound. That was extreme. The plastic-faced man's voice remains calm, removed. There was no need for that. I was joking. Of course, I'm going to give you what you want, although this can be a dangerous profession. I have no intention of absorbing pain for a client if it can be avoided. His chin lifts a bit and his tone becomes even more matter-of-fact. You ask your questions, Wiggles. I'll answer them as efficiently as I can. When we're done, I'll shake hands with a stranger and walk away running. What just happened? Who are you? Just a professional problem solver who's very, very good at his job. Disappointment sinks into his voice. Now don't waste your time on me. There are bigger questions to answer, don't you think? I'll decide what's important. Who are you? He shakes his head slowly. My name is Li Tai Lung. I was born in 2016 in a suburb of Shanghai. That's in the Hunan province of old China. My parents were killed in a food riot in 2021. Or maybe it was 2022. Isabel makes a grunting noise. She doesn't sound happy. I'm trying to spoof his headwear to make it think. She exhales loudly. Never mind, it didn't work. The boot of sequence is starting. Time is the fire in which we burn. Time is the school in which we learn. Good poem. You should learn it. Shall we talk about something else? Something more salient? No, I want to know more about you. I don't advise it. Come on, Wiggles, we're running out of time. Forget this. Fool. Fine. Why is Josephine saying trying to kill us? She believes you're here to destroy one of her special projects. Why does she think that? Because that's why her son came back to Hong Kong. Edward sank? No, wait, Raymond Black? My father? Wu stands up tall, takes that amused tone he gets when someone's about to get hurt. Hey, Mr. Plastic, maybe you could settle a bet between me and my brother. Wu puts his face close to Lee's. His breath fogs the plastic. Now I think Raymond is still alive, but my brother here isn't so sure. Wu's voice drops to a stage whisper. Which is it, buddy? Raymond Black, dead or alive? I got 20 nuyen on this. Guys, I status bar just popped up. It isn't moving yet, but you never know when it might take a jump. The little decker watches her screen for a moment. It's stuck at 0 right now, but the process is starting and there's nothing I can do to stop it. Raymond Black is alive. I didn't kill your father. How do we know he is alive? I'm hoping that by giving you everything you want, you'll leave me alive when this is all over. Lee reaches out his zip-tied hands to Isabel. He's perfectly manicured. Here, give me that PDA. I'll show you something. Isabel pulls away on instinct and looks at you. You're running out of time, holding all the guns, and I have information you want, and I'm giving it to you willingly. Go on, Iz, let him have it. The plastic-faced man takes the PDA from Isabel and stares down at the screen. His eyes become unfocused, and he stands like a statue. A low-resolution video recording pops into the screen. A small, withered man, easily in his 70s, is strapped into a high-tech chair and connected to an elaborate scientific instrument behind him. The recording is from the first-person perspective, presumably the plastic-faced man's. This is from when I first brought your father to Josephine sang. His eyes remain unfocused, still a statue. After I took him from the tea house on the docks. The video continues and a voice can be heard from off-screen, a woman's. Her voice is muted and you can't make out what she says, but her tone is unambiguously strong, confident, and mature. In contrast, the man's voice is gravely weary. His head lolls to the side. May I have some water, Mother? My throat feels like it's on fire. The point of view turns to the right and a graceful woman of indeterminate age steps into view. She is clearly advanced in years, but access to a nourishing diet and cutting-edge pharmaceuticals give her the vitality of someone much younger. Yes, of course, Edward. I'll have someone bring you some ice chips. There is genuine concern in her voice. She turns to the camera and her tone hardens. I warned you to be gentle with him. I assure you, I was gentle. He's apparently been through some sort of ordeal. Up here, demented at times. He's been mumbling about stopping prosperity. Yes, well, that won't be happening. The woman turns back to her son, who appears older than she. She speaks a bit too loud, as if he is hard of hearing. We won't be stopping prosperity, Edward. I want you to get that out of your mind. Do you understand? I understand perfectly, Mother. There's no need to shout. But I won't give up. Prosperity must be stopped. All those poor people. The woman frowns and shakes her head. I know, Edward, I know. Those poor people I've done a lot of good to make up for since you've left. Shelters, hospitals, all sort of good work. And now it's time to do something for you. Something I should have done a long time ago, perhaps. She walks up close to the old man, strokes his head tenderly, leans forward to kiss it. As she does, from the left side of the screen, a man enters in a white lab coat. The woman looks up and nods, and the lab-coated man places a chrome apparatus on the old man's head. He speaks dreamily, as if a drug had started its work. What is this, Mama? What are you doing to me? I'm fixing you, Edward. She walks up close to the old man, strokes his head tenderly, leans forward to kiss it. All you can see is failure. You're incapable of seeing the good in what you've done. The man in the white lab coat presses a button on Raymond's chair, and a robotic arm swings into view. A cobalt blue light springs from its tip, and the arm quickly circumnavigates the old man's head, bathing in oscillating blue. A high-definition, three-dimensional image of Raymond's brain appears on the wall behind. I've been inspired by Mr. Lee here. The woman turns and looks at the camera. We're going to do some editing of your memories to relieve you of your burden. Raymond mumbles dreamily, desperately fighting to get the words out. No, Mama, wait. I've figured out what to do. And then he is asleep. The woman moves closer to the camera. Your payment will be made according to our agreement. She turns away, her voice cold. Once the rest of them are dead. The video ends and the plastic-faced man exhales slowly. Looked to me like his mother was going to try and rewire his brain or something to fix him. What kind of mother would do that? And what kind of child would leave her parents behind to die because she didn't want to deal with it? Oh, burn! Sorry. The bad kind. Wu turns to you. You see, I knew it. I told you, Wiggles. Raymond's alive. Where is he? Prosperity Tower. Sang's Mechanical Engineering Corporate Headquarters. That's Prosperity? Josephine Sang's office building? Not exactly. Prosperity Tower is Sang's Mechanical Engineering Corporate Headquarters. Prosperity is also the secret project her son Edward was working on. Which one do you want to know about first? His voice takes a sing-song tone. Tick-tock. I want everything you know about Prosperity Tower. I'll tell you what. In the interest of time, I'm going to make you a little gift. The plastic-faced man's eyes all roll back into his head, and a moment later, a twitter emits from the Isabel's PDA. A 2 terabyte file just downloaded into my PDA. That's everything I've got on Prosperity Tower. Guard stations, checkpoints, security protocols. The makeshift streetlight gleams off on his plastic face, reflecting you like a funhouse mirror. This is where you say, thank you. I still want to hear about the Prosperity Project. Of course you do. Well, that's going to be challenging. You see, the Prosperity Project is Joe Sang's best kept secret, and the best way to keep secrets is to not tell anyone, even someone whose memory can be wiped. All I know is that Prosperity is something built deep inside Kowloon Walled City, some kind of experiment that her son was working on. And now his mother is trying to rewire his brain or something to fix her son. Something catches her eye and she looks down suddenly. Shit, shit, shit! Isabel thumbs her PDA fiercely. It's no use. It's no use! That's it. He's wiping. She pulls the cable from her PDA and drops it to the ground in aggravation. Oh, hello. The plastic-faced man looks down at his zip-tied hands and then slowly surveys his surroundings. Well, isn't this awkward? What do you want to do with this guy? He's got no memory, so it's probably safe to let him go. But Auntie said he should take a dirt nap. Wu raises his rifle. All the same to me. So there's actually an achievement based off what you do with the plastic-faced man. There's basically you have to do both anyway. So if you leave him alive, he just basically disappears from the plot. There's no story significance. I don't even think, other than getting mentioned at the end of the mission briefing, that's it about like what happens to him. He just disappears from the game. And if you kill him, obviously he dies. But so it doesn't really matter. For achievements, you can just choose whatever you want. So end him. What Auntie wants, Auntie gets. But he gave us everything we asked for and more. He's seen our faces. But I have nothing to connect them with. It's all the same with you. I'd prefer to just walk away. No loose ends. End him, gun show. My pleasure. He automatically crits. Funny. And thus ends the life of the plastic-faced man. So, bye-bye. Alright, time to head back to Hawaii. And that's it. Yeah. You think, well, I mean, the game almost makes you think like the plastic-faced man's going to be this like really nasty piece of work you have to fight, but no, you just get him with an inhibitor or knock him out, and then you kill him at the end. It's kind of weird, you know. But, oh well. The trip from Shek-Kit-Mai back to Hawaii is quiet as you process the information revealed by the plastic-faced man. Prosperity is a name. 2 names, actually. One is the secret project Raymond was working on before he left for Seattle. The other is the corporate headquarters of Sang's Mechanical Services. And Prosperity Tower is where Raymond Black is being held alive. It's also where his memory is in the process of being reprogrammed by his mother, and time is ticking. Why'd they put is twice? Anyway, the plastic-faced man proved surprisingly amenable and quite useful before you killed him. Your next stop is Kindly Chang. She'll want to hear this. So yeah, let's tell Auntie about the dead man. You step out of the MTR station into the balmy night air. An impenetrable wall of clouds, heavy with imminent rain, has blown in from the south. It covers the stars, causing them to wink out one by one. You can smell something on the air, something electric. The wind whips up around you, and the clouds begin moving in a thick grayscale swirl. The spiral builds and grows, shimmering with faint amber light. As you watch the clouds roll into the sky, the sounds of the city retreat. A bubble of soft white noise replaces them, wrapping around your head and reflecting your own heartbeat back on you. You look down from the clouds to see the lights of the docks dancing in a warm, saturated bloom. Enjoy the stillness. You lean back and take in your surroundings. The boats, the golden glow of the light on the water, the lapping of gentle waves against the docks, and then the first twinge tickles your chest, lets you know that something's coming. A moment later, you feel an incredible tightness in your chest. It feels like your heart is being crushed under the foot of a giant. Your vision goes gray, and your sense of balance disappears. Gradually, blood rushes to refill the organ, inflating it like a balloon. So if you have Bioware Synthcardium, you can fight through it. I forgot what that does, actually. I almost never build a cyber, like a samurai cyber character, and so I always forget what those abilities are. I think it like auto heals you or something like that. If you have Biotech 5, you can attempt to make a self-diagnosis. You can just try to catch your breath. Again, these doesn't really affect anything. It's just like minor story-based stuff. But since I have Willpower 6, I can force my body to calm itself. You calm yourself, breathe. Gradually, your heart rate normalizes and the world swims back into focus. Something is still very definitely wrong, but you're able to face it with a clear head and a steady heartbeat. You place your one foot in front of the other. You place one foot in front of the other. And then soon you'll be walking out the door. Sorry. Determined to face whatever this is and overcome it. A tingling sensation washes over you, suffusing you to the core. You stumble forward and every cell in your body seems to vibrate. The energy thrums inside of you, pulsating, building to an unbearable crescendo, and then you're on the other side of it. You find yourself standing in a familiar courtyard, the walled city. You're back in the walled city, just like in your dreams. You can taste the stench of the place, the mildew, plaster, wet dog stink of the slums. What the? The crumbling facade of tenement buildings lean into one another above you, closing in on either side and creating a narrow hallway. Just like in your dreams, there's nowhere else to go, nowhere but forward, down the path ahead. Stay where you are. You plant your feet and wait for something to change, for the walled city to fade away and the Hawaii docks to return. You wait for what feels like hours, nothing changes. Call for help. You open your mouth and shout for assistance, for Gobbet, for Duncan, for Isabel, for anyone who might be listening. The only answer that you receive is your own echo. Start walking. You let your legs carry you forward. You feel a creeping sense of certainty in the back of your mind, and it tells you that you've taken the same walk hundreds of times before. The sense of claustrophobia mounts and builds with every step you take. It feels like you're worming your way forward down a long, dark tunnel. The humidity of the place sticks to your skin. As you proceed deeper into the walled city, a low rumble fills the air, the noise of ginormous gears in motion. You feel hollow, empty, and with every step you take, you can feel that emptiness growing, an unbearable yearning unlike any hunger you've ever known. Stop in your tracks. You stop walking, plant your feet. The world stops moving around you. You close your eyes and breathe a sigh of relief. When your eyes open again, you find yourself moving forward. You don't remember telling your legs to walk, but that's what you're doing, carrying you forward, deeper into the walled city, just like you did in your dreams, just as you always have. Off in the distance, an alien silhouette beckons to you. It's her, the tall, slender thing in your dreams, the elusive figure that you've always been moving towards, but could never quite reach. A crowd of locals line the path ahead, the alien supplication. They look emaciated, all skin and bones, clothed head to toe in dirty rags. Examine the kneeling figures. You stare at the nearest of the kneeling figures, a wiry man in his late 20s. He locks eyes with you. Slowly, his mouth opens wide. The man has no teeth. They've been pulled, and recently, from the looks of it. His gums are a bloody, pitless mess. As you stare into the black void of his mouth, his tongue comes lolling out. It looks as if it was caught in an industrial accident, a swollen, twisted slab of meat. The corners of the young man's mouth twitch upward in a ghastly smile. What's happened to you? The man with the ruined tongue doesn't respond. He kneels in silence, staring at your feet, carrying you past him. Seconds later, he fades from view. Your legs carry you deeper and deeper into the beating heart of the tenement. If you haven't reached the center yet, you must be close. It's incredibly hot and humid in here. The sweat rolls down your body in sheets. Your thoughts go hazy with the heat, and a dim sense of unease takes root in the pit of your stomach. Focus on the uneasy feeling. You try to concentrate on the unease that you're feeling, but you find it impossible to focus. The omnipresent sound of grinding gears isn't helping. Looking up, you see what the noise is coming from. A hatch. The same door that you saw in your nightmare back when all this began. The markings on the door are legible now. A single word in faded yellow paint. Prosperity. Suddenly and possibly, the alien figure that you've been moving towards is standing right in front of you. At the same time, your vision finally clears and the ice water runs through your veins. The walled city isn't a slum at all. It's a ginormous gaping maw. The buildings are a forest of crooked teeth. The thing reaches for you. With inhuman speed and grace, it plunges fingers of polished ivory into your mouth. Slowly, terribly, it begins to wrench your jaw open. You can feel your teeth splinter and break and... Rough fingers on your shoulders snap you back to reality. The hand clenches into a vice-like grip and yanks you backwards, off of your feet. You come crashing down to the floor of the Haoi MTR station. You can feel a rush of wind just in front of you, a passing train. What is wrong with you, Wiggles? Strangler Bao eyes you coolly. Auntie Chang's lost too many runners already. Besides, there are cleaner ways to end your life than jumping in front of a train. This wasn't a suicide attempt, asshole. I was under magic attack. Or magical attack. He grunts, turning his back to you. Whatever. Now get up and get back to the floating wreck that you sleep in. And we get 3 karma for surviving a suicide attempt because of some weird magic. And Strangler Bao saved us. That's kind of surprising with everything we've insulted him on. But it looks like some new people have gathered into town. Let's take a look at them before we talk to the others. A pair of dead-eyed transients lean against the abandoned car, their shoulders slumped. A pile of overstuffed bags lie in heaps on the sidewalk, spilling into the rain-choked gutter. The smaller of the pair looks down, notices that his bags are getting soaked, and does nothing. Seems like he's too exhausted to care. The shorter of the transient slowly shifts his attention to you. His voice comes out hollow and empty. You want a Changs? It isn't a question. Remain silent. It's fine, stay quiet. We're getting the hell out of here while we still can. If you're smart, you'll follow us. Everyone with half a brain is getting out of this place. Believe me, I'm thinking about it. Smart man. Nothing can fix what's coming for the walled city, and Hawaii is way too close for that place of comfort. You're getting the dreams too? Just like when we were kids, and we heard the stories of the Yama Kings. The two exchanged glances. But they weren't just dreams this time. They were signs, warnings. What kind of warnings? The kind that you don't ignore. He steps to begin pulling his bags off of the sidewalk and out of the gutter. Come on, Shin, it's time to go. And it looks like, yeah, as you can see, some things have slightly changed in this area over the course. I don't think anyone else has anything to say. I'll double check, but I don't remember them saying anything. Nope, okay. Yeah, just some of the random people in town and your allies for those who took on the mission objective, so. Yeah, let's see what everyone else has to say. A pair of men, refugees from the look of them, stand near the city entrance. They're absorbed by the conversation, voices low. The elf sways nervously as he speaks, but the human is steadfast. His gravely words are harder to make out than the elves, but you can hear the agitation in them. Neither man seems aware of your presence. Tell them, first chance you get, we gotta get out of here. Leave the country. Things are all backed up, that even if the walled city were gutted and cleaned tomorrow, we'd still be waiting through the fallout. Prejudice wouldn't just disappear. The elf's head dips down in agreement. I know, you're right. You always are. I spoke to my sister. She's on board. Didn't take much convincing either. Though a few of us who know about the monsters don't know to be anyone near the city. Things like that. They leave a mark on a place. You'll never be wrought again. Hey, you guys talking about the walled city? A pair of bright eyes meet yours. The elf gives you a shy smile. Hello, didn't see you there. We were just discussing the state of the city. Things are bleak, isn't that right, Aaron? He rubs his arms as if he's cold. The outside air is humid. The other man glowers at you. Noticing the deliberate hostility of his friend, the elf tries to fill the awkward silence. He rambles. Yes, if we didn't have enough to contend with before. Gangs, starvation, disease. Now corporate officers are starting to invade our personal lives. With no subtlety. They treat us like wild dogs. Do that and do that. Sit, stay. Good boy. As thanks. We won't kill your family. Corporate officers, huh? They have anything to do with those monsters you mentioned earlier? Monsters? No, you must have misheard me. No monsters here, only corporate tyrants. What a silly thing to mishear. Monsters. He lets out a forced chuckle. That's right, monsters. He keeps his voice low without breaking eye contact. He leans in towards you. The Alma Kings. He pats the back of his flustered friend. It's all right, Lauren. Might as well start talking about it. Not everyone's going to believe us, but those who do can prepare themselves like us. Lauren sways uncomfortably and dips his head down in agreement. The man continues. Start as a whisper, a rumor. The Yama Kings are coming to feast on us, the walled city. Well, we took it for what it was, superstitious bullshit. That is, until the things start happening. Now the walled city's always been its kind of hell, but these last few months, somehow things started getting worse. People got more aggressive, others started to spiral emotionally, and our dreams grew more and more intense, more frightening. It's the Yama Kings, we're sure of it. They're going to destroy our souls and eat our bodies. We had to leave. But there's so many people, we can't. I just wish we could take them all, Aaron. A small terrible shakes his willow frame. Impossible, on. Most we can do is save ourselves. Let's just concentrate on getting out of this alive, right? Aaron returns his gaze to you. So now you know monsters, Yama Kings, are descending upon us from their ethereal thrones, coming to rip our essences apart. The sooner we get out of here, the better. I understand there's something dark at work in the world city, and you're wise for wanting to get out, but you better get out of here soon. Things are really starting to heat up. Owen looks at Aaron, fear in his eyes. Yes, soon. My sister's ready when we all. Aaron gives him a curt nod. All right, we'll make plans right away. Thanks, stranger. Yeah, because we know we already did the crafty stuff, so we kind of know about the Yama Kings already. One of the Connolly's enforcer bars the path from the walled city of Hawaii, blocking the wallway with his body. A woman in a rag shawl stands in front of him, her hands clasped, begging to be let through. He doesn't move. Please, you have to let me through. My husband and children are already in Hawaii. I need to meet them. I have to. Nice try, but back off. You don't get in here. Nobody does. Come on, man. Let her through. One more person in Hawaii won't hurt anyone. It isn't my decision. Auntie Chen gave orders. Besides which, there are 100,000 other beggars behind her who just love to get in here. They've been banging at the gates all day. You think I should let them all through? I don't care if you help them or not. Just please. Or, I don't care if you help them or not. Just please help me. Think of my family. I don't know your family, woman. You probably don't even have one. I, on the hand, do have people in Hawaii, and I'll disobey. And if I disobey Auntie Chang's, what happens to them won't be pretty. What does Connolly Chang care about refugees passing through Hawaii? If they were content to pass through, she probably wouldn't. But that isn't what these people do. They get out and they try to stay here. With everything that's going down, the last thing the Connolly wants to have to worry about is the population of Hawaii suddenly tripling. So we aren't taking anybody. Period. The refugee's tear-streaked face twists into a snarl. Pig bastard, you won't let us through. I'll come back with so many others that you can't hope to stop us. We can't stay in the walled city, not with what's coming. We won't. You be my guest, woman. Bring as many friends as you like. He pats a conspicuous bulge under his jacket. It's his dick. I'll make sure to have a bullet for each of you. Or its gun. Whatever. That's cool, too, I guess. I mean, I don't know why I said that. A Freudian slip, maybe? No. Okay. Alright, let's head back to the... No mission objectives, huh? But anyway, let's head... Actually, I think I have to go to Chang's first. We'll only see if we can go to the ship and talk to everyone before we do that. Okay, we have to talk to kind of... Never mind. Fine, we'll talk to the old bat with a side of rat. And maybe she has a cat. Yep, come on. There you go. The walk through the Mahjong Tower is punctuated by a tantalizing smell of coconut and fried confection. Your crew surrounds Connolly Chang, watching comfortably as she peels small egg-shaped delicacies from a waffle-like pastry and pops them into her mouth. Each time she does, her eyes close in ecstasy and soft sounds come from her throat. There you are, Wiggles. Your crew here tells me that you were able to locate and interrogate the plastic-faced man. The straw sandal's eyes narrow and her rusty voice takes on a jagged edge. They haven't told me his current disposition, however. I assume everything went as I instructed. I was going to take his face as a trophy, but I thought it'd be tacky. Oh, I don't know. The Triad boss smiles, her little black eyes flash. Trophies had their value. Gobbet's eyes scan the rooms, apparently looking for trophies. I trust you got something useful out of him. We got plenty. Wu sounds eager. He gave us a data dump on everything we know about Prosperity Tower. First-hand info. Or sorry, everything he knew. Josephine's headquarters. She puts down the pastry, rubs her nose, considering. That could be useful, I suppose. What do you intend on doing with it? We're gonna rescue Raymond. He's alive, Auntie, just like I said he was. Josephine's holding him in there. She's doing something to his brain. Something to his brain? She takes another bite of her pastry. And what is that old bitch up to now? Based on the memory that Mr. Pastic showed us, it looks like she's trying to rewire her son's memories into something called ASSIST, Artificial Sensory Induction Systems Technology. It allows the user to record, process, and feed synthetic sensory info into the brain. Like a Simpsons chip? Yes, Auntie, it's the technology that led to Simpsons. It's also what allows Deckers to enter the Matrix and grants riggers a neural connection to their drones. An expert assist technician could alter someone's personality, memory, even identity. I guess the experts like that don't grow on trees. Definitely not. Changing someone's memories requires a world-class expert and assist and a massive amount of computing power. I'm not exactly sure what they're doing to him, but I'm guessing that his mom wants him to forget something, or to remember it differently, maybe.
And we have no idea what that is.
Isabel hesitates. No, no clue. All we know is that she's holding him in Prosperity Tower while her people work on him.
This woman takes depravity to a whole new level. She's rewiring her son's brain.
Wu rubs his head in frustration.
Who the hell does that?
Let's stay focused, Duncan. Isabel turns to the rest of you. Mr. Plastic dropped us a couple of terabytes of data on Prosperity Tower right out of his brain. Gunshow and I have been studying it. Lots of good intel to mine there. Just what we need to take a run at the place and hope to get out alive.
So how do we make our approach? Fortunately, Prosperity Tower is one of Sang's lower security locations. It's mostly administrative, marketing, that sort of thing.
That's good. Connolly turns to her enforcer. Mr. Bao, give the runners those old Sang security passes you used on that hijacking last year.
Yes, Miss Chang. They'll get them.
Those passes should get you through the lobby. The triad boss pokes a fingernail between her teeth and dislodges a piece of pastry. You'll still have to explain your presence, Wiggles. You don't expect to just walk on through.
What about that junk data you held on to after the Wu Zhang run, Isabel? Anything in there we can use?
Good thinking, and I've already ahead of you. I scoured the leftover Wu Jing paperwork and found a way to change our status to special couriers. We could use that to pose as a third-party Wu Jing user to deliver an important package.
This doesn't happen if you don't take the payday from that one thing. So, I mean, it's not a big deal. You can do it without it. It's just you get some extra little help if you do those sorts of things. So that'll work for a while, but we can't expect to stay in cover for long. One way or another, things are going to get hot. Okay, so this is two ways you can go about the next mission. Is you can either go the direct approach, is basically just straightforward, no tactical, guns blazing, that type of situation, or you can go to the loading dock to do that, which I'm going to do that one. So the loading dock sounds like just the edge we need. Let's do it.
Okay, I'll get this booked into the Sang system and print off some matching papers. We need a van to make it look legit. Bow?
Considered done.
Talk to me about the security setup. How do we get to Raymond? The key is this operation are the 3 security stations located on different floors. The matrix systems in these security stations are the command and control hubs for the entire building security. As such, they're the best place to find out where Raymond Black is being held. And that's all we get on this location? His location?
All we know is that he's being held somewhere called Lab 12. But where that is or how to get in there is something we need to figure out on site. The only bad thing about this is that because Ractor and Gaichu are completely optional, they have no dialogue here for the most part, so which is sad. Oh well.
If things go hostile, the best thing to do is get an alarm panel, a matrix security node, and shut things down. If we notice, we'll have a brief window to cut the link to the alarm system. If we do that, it will isolate the whole floor from the security systems. The rest of the building won't know what's happening now. If the alarm goes off and we cut the link to the alarm system, we can spoof the system till we've moved on to another location.
That might work once or twice, but if we spoof too many alarms, they'll figure it out.
How long is this brief window to cut the alarm? Maybe 30 seconds, maybe less if the network isn't cluttered into traffic. It's there as a fail-safe so security doesn't stampede all over the building if a janitor forgets to close the door.
What about guards? Quantity? Training? Standard core security for the most part, but Sangs has a rapid response squad for high priority events.
That will be us.
Is Gobbett right? Do you think an intrusion trip, Lab 12, would qualify as high priority event? Judging by the way Grandma is saying, took out Carter, gunshot Niger, I'd say she isn't interested in anyone getting anywhere near her son. Expect to face Sang's elite security once we find him. What else do we have on the security stations themselves? Staffing? Weaknesses?
Only one thing worth mentioning.
Isabel looks over to Wu. The only way to security station is with a key card, and guards on each floor carry a card to the station on that floor.
So we can get a card by taking them out, but there may be other ways of getting key cards.
Wu crosses his arm across his chest. Like I said, the security stations are the key to this operation. They provide multiple opportunities to exploit the system and determine how to approach the rest of our incursion. Yeah, we go as quiet as possible until we have no choice. We don't need an entire building full of security on us. Roger that. We'll be as quiet as rats.
I see what you did there.
Nah, I don't really feel very rat-like.
I do. I'll show you how it's done.
The little Decker purses her lips.
We need to take at least one of the stations and use it to determine our next step. It's like we have directions to go find a map.
That's all I need to know about security. Let's hope it's enough to give us an edge. How do we stop this assist thing from rewiring Raymond? All we know is that an assist device is located in Lab 12. It's the only one in the building. Now, I doubt that Grandma will just hand over the passcodes to her system if we ask nicely, so we'll need a Decker to access the assist device and eject him from the system safely before she scrambles his brain. Got it. What does the Decker need to do to eject him safely?
Like I said, we don't know. We are going to have to improvise. Figure out when we get there.
That's all I need to know.
Well, one other thing, while I was helping Duncan verify as much of the data as I could, I decided to collect our marker with Bull and his team of runners.
Those are the people we helped back in during Ractor's storyline. Good call. We need all the help we can get. Isabel looks at Blue, her eyes big and round.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, it turns out Bull and our runner friends hit Sang a few months back. Low rent smash and grab for another core, but they got a quick scan of the building's matrix security, but they rabbited. They gave us data flags that pinpoint where the security nodes are located inside of Sang's systems. So when we jack into the security station, we'll be able to make a direct attack on the security node. That could buy us seconds we need to cut the alarm link.
Nice work. Kindly cuts in, licking her fingers with the loud smacking noises.
One more thing, Wiggles. While you're in her headquarters, look for anything we can use to incriminate or embarrass Josephine Sang. I want dirt, something I can feed to an acquaintance on the executive council, someone who stands to gain from it.
Does this come with a cash bonus? She pops another egg treat into her mouth and her eyes close tight with pleasure.
Of course, my sweet. Of course. Now go enjoy Prosperity Tower, she smiles wolfishly, and give Josephine Sang my regards.
Yeah, and we get 4 karma for doing that. Hey, just let us know about Johnny the Blow gives his regards. Hey! Does she say anything else to say, or is it just a generic, like, probably the same? Yep, no runner business. All right. Leave her alone. All right. And before we head off to the next mission, obviously we're not going to do that today, but let's go back to the safe boat, and we should have an extra mail now that we've finished with that situation. Let's see who's... We got a message. All right. Hope it helps. From Dreamland to Wiggles. Hope it helps.
Good luck with your what happened to my father thing. Rough deal. If nothing else, I hope the people responsible get what's coming to them, and that my neural inhibitor program helps you get some payback.
And that's it. I think there's something different if you give her some money and stuff like that, but nothing on that. So anyway, let's check. The BBS finally has something new now that we've done some plot stuff. Landfall, T-minus 24. We are T-minus 24 hours for Typhoon Usagi to cross the shore. I am signing off until tomorrow, sometime. See attached list of Met sites if you wish to follow storm progress. Typhoon Usagi's periphery will strike Hong Kong within the next 24 hours, with an eye crossing ashore near the Sanjuazhen Pingjiajian megaplex, 80 kilometers southwest of Hong Kong. Usagi is weakened, but meteorologists warn it is still a very destructive storm. Several damage and flooding are expected in the direct storm path. We now go to a special warning from the HKPF. The HKPF, around the Security Subcommittee of the Executive Council, advise all residents to shelter in place and stay connected to Matrix airlines. The curfew is in effect beginning 1600 hours, 4 p.m. Strong electromagnetic interference is expected, shutting down wireless communications. Hong Kong will experience moderate winds and extremely heavy precipitation. Landslides and minor runoff flooding are expected. Citizens are advised to avoid hillside roads and under no circumstances to enter drainage troughs, even to recover lost belongings or to attempt rescues. Call emergency personnel who are specially trained and equipped to save lives. The automatic Sick Zhong Wall was activated at 6:30 this morning, enclosing Victoria Harbor, blocking incoming waves and limiting the storm surge experienced in the harbor to 1/2 meter. The Port Authority indicates that seawater pump capacity will be easily sufficient to prevent a destructive rise in harbor level, but rolling brownouts are likely to as electricity is routed to the seawall's pump arrays. Where's everyone gone to the boards? Does the term crunch mean anything to you? People are running. Won't all the security forces be on high alert during the storm? It's a sheer question of resource coverage, Ko-Ming. Like arson in old UCAS cities on Halloween, there are innumerable targets across the Kong. High alerts can't be maintained at even a fraction of them through a typhoon. This is the fight the A-teams on both sides always know is coming. But can't the Corps just plan ahead and hire more people? Bloody Meriden, are you there? Anyone? Yep. So everyone's out. And yeah, no payday. We don't have payday. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Alright, let's kick out of this thing because we don't need that anymore. So, alright. Let's talk to people from the previous job, which is Ractor, Isabel, and Duncan. Another betrayer. Betrayal. You would think that I'd be used to it by now, but I am most assuredly not. That said, Zhao Ji's gambit failed him. Josephine Sing's plans have been laid bare, and we are in a position to act on his knowledge. The upper hand is ours. Your murder of the plastic-faced man is bittersweet. He was an enemy, yes, and he needed to die, but the work that he'd done on his face was superb. He would have had a place in tomorrow that I tried to bring about. Instead, he has a place in the ground, and that is objectively tragic. All other things, considerations aside. Yeah, it's interesting. Well, I mean, that's how psychopaths think, you know? That's still one of the crazier things to know in the game, is that basically we have a psychopath in our group. So. It's fine, he won't murder everyone. He just doesn't have the same feelings that normal people do. You mean extracting the plastic-faced man? Wu frowns and his answer comes out in a low rasp. I knew we'd eventually find that guy, but getting the information out of him before his brain wiped was tense. At least we know that Raymond is alive now. His lips tightened over his teeth. I fucking knew it. Yep, you called it. My gut said that we were being fed a load of bullshit. Glad to be right. For once. Wu snorts. Been a long time since we ran the streets together, Pykel. Lived in a squad. I want to say that feels like old times, but it doesn't. This is different. Yeah, we have better guns. And no identities. He shrugs and checks his equipment. I'm gonna pack up. Alright. And finally, Isabel, since she was with us. Alright. Isabel, let me click on you. Thank you. Wiggles, let's see. Any thoughts about the last round? We're close, Wiggles. We're so close. I can taste it. A few more hours, maybe a day or two, and you'll have your father back. Josephine Singh is going to get what's coming to her. For you, me, and especially for Naita, Gutsata. We've got the plastic-faced man to thank for it. I wouldn't have killed the plastic-faced man if I were in your shoes. He was a guy doing a job just like us. But it was your call, and you knew the risks when you decided to get into this life. I can't fault you for it because you're not me. Just remember that everyone out there has a story, even if you don't know it. And obviously it's different if you don't kill him, but whoops. She doesn't have any more information for the walled city on us, so. Actually, maybe she might have something even though we didn't actually take her. Let's see. Okay, I guess she does have something. I'll have to talk to Gaichu then afterwards, so. I think we're closing in on the end here, killer. With the data we got from the plastic-faced man, Josephine's number is just about up. She grins, patting you gently on the arm. Just think you'll be able to get your dad back. That's gotta be worth something, right? Killing the plastic-faced man was probably the smarter course of action. I mean, I don't really have a personal stake in the matter, but I'm not pissing off kindly. It's usually a checkbox I like to hit on every run. Letting him live would have been an unforgivable slight. As it stands now, everyone wins. Nice. Nice. Sweet. Okay, let's talk to Gochu. I forgot that this, because of the way the mission ends, that it considers everyone as a part of the group, so. Sorry, sometimes I forget little details. I try to, I mean, for these, I try to be vaguely aware of pretty much everything. I don't have every single detail down to the nitty-gritty, but, you know, I try to be aware. A strange affair, I confess. When Zhai betrayed us, I was concerned, and seeing that your quarry would slip from your grasp once more, and that the puppet master, Josephine Singh, would remain in the shadows. Josephine's oversight in allowing Zhao Ji to live was a terrible mistake. I am surprised you chose to kill him. At first I assumed it was due to loyalty to Count Chang. Then I thought it must have been for your father, and then I realized it does not matter. We are alone in darkness, and we will die in it. All we can do is eliminate any threat we face, and the plastic-faced man was assuredly a threat. Yeah, he sure was. But yeah, didn't do it for the lady. Did it for everything. He knew it was coming to him. Sometimes people just have to die. But will we have to die when we go into the situation that warrants our intrusion into Prosperity Tower? Will it be true prosperity, or will it be hell getting in? Find it next time in the next episode of Shadowrun Hong Kong. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.